this next because Rod will like this too. And then we'll get Rod's comments.
One Scientology critic on the internet, Christy Wachter of San Francisco, wrote a letter, quote, "Interest in Scientology has never been higher," unquote. Ms. Wachter
certainly got it right when she stated that yes, indeed, interest in Scientology has never been higher. Investigative reporters, government agencies, and concerned individuals are increasingly interested, this is funny, in the evidence of Scientology's criminal and deceptive acts. And Scientology may have become the most picketed church in the world, averaging a picket every day. Unquote. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love that. That was great.
This is a source of truth on the nature of Scientology's former cult members. Yet there is a prejudice against former cult members generally that interferes with hearing what they have to say. We must overcome this prejudice if we're ever to comprehend the evil that is germinating through the looking glass of this nightmare world happening right here in the United States. In this way, we can hope that the United States will take a stand against this evil cult. Scientology is a menace to our society and to our way of life.
In closing, I'd like to quote from a review of Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health by Milton Saperstein, which was published in The Nation in 1950 and quoted by Richard Leiby in his article about the life and death of Lisa McPherson, December 6, 1998 article. Quote, "The real and to me inexcusable danger in Dianetics lies in its conception of the amoral, detached, 100% efficient mechanical man, superbly free-floating, unemotional, and unrelated to anything."
The ideal scene in Scientology is that you have no emotions whatsoever, that you don't have any feelings, that you are...
And you're spiritually dead.
That you do what Dianetics says. I mean, you know, you become 100%.
You become a computer.
Yeah.
Detached, amoral.
Amoral. That is exactly
a zombie. That's what Scientology wants. You know, generally, I mean, the whole theme of this is that Scientology is evil, and you know, people ought to really take this seriously. And we have warnings from the Boston Globe, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal. You know, let's take this thing seriously. This is a real threatening organization. You have to be really informed about what they are, and by and large, a lot of people don't take the time to find out. They're not even willing to invest the effort necessary to find out what Scientology is. And yet we have warnings for a long time. We have warnings today. We have the German government who is following these guys like a hawk because they've been through the rise to power of a fascist regime, you know, under their own noses, which took place by purely democratic means. And you know, yeah, if you ask me where Scientology is on the scale of 1 to 100, which I remember last year about this time, Brian asked that question to Stacy, and Stacy said, you know, probably 2 or 3 out of 100 maybe. Well, the time to hit them is when they're at 2 or 3, not when they're at 40 on the tone scale. I don't mean the tone scale, but you know, 40 on the influence scale.
I love the way that speech is going, Bob. I really do.
You know, this talking about in the RPF about you know,
waiting to die.
You know, just looking forward to dying, so you can take some time off before you go back to work in Scientology when you come back again. I mean, God, I mean that's your dream. I can't tell you how powerful that was. You know, it was really.
Well, I wish you could like finish up with something like that because you know, just to end on. I mean, you want closure at the end, but also you know, something that's really.
Well, yeah, it does lack a little bit of punch there, right at the end. You know, actually, we could sort of go back to that feeling of death, of looking forward to death.
Just go out and go and take a look at a few Scientologists that work in the works. Look at their ashen fucking face. You know, when they're not putting on that mask.
Look at John Carmichael sitting here in the audience.
Look at these pathetic bastards that wear the same clothes to every event.
Yeah, look at John Carmichael. Look at Maureen O'Keefe. You want to see what it looks like to be a Scientologist?
Right.
Look at those shining, smiling, happy faces that they're going to put on for you.
Right.
They're going to have their own conversation about this one day. They're going to be talking about how long they're going to stay away from Scientology after they die before they come back, and what they're going to have a chance to experience in life, and whether they want to go out and kill themselves in a race car so they don't have to actually go back and work for Scientology again without another break of 20+ years.
Talking about llamas ready to jump off the fucking cliff, man.
You think that'd be good?
Yeah, them too. Them too. They're with the fucking llamas. They're all going over.
I like the idea of lemurs.
It's just a leaf fest. It's just a llamas, monkeys. Everybody's over the fucking cliff.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, remember that's real life.
Yeah.
Robert Minton recently profiled on Dateline A&E in 2020. We'll talk about shooting Scientologists, getting arrested by... No. Sorry.
Before the internet, it was Scientology, the applied religious philosophy founded in 1950. And since the internet, it's become Scientology, the cult that believes in space aliens and Xenu. And that's really because of the availability of certain illegal advanced materials on the internet.
Don't look at Grady.
We should all look at
This is a historic event. The very fact that we are here as the first conference of a new cult awareness organization is an incredible milestone. And I want to start by asking you all to give the CULTinfo Board of Directors and yourselves a hand for the fact that we're all here. You need to be aware that this conference has been open to all who were interested in coming. No one was prevented from coming who expressed interest in participating. Not everyone at this conference shares your views or my views about totalistic groups. You need to be aware of that and consider that as you have individual conversations, particularly if you're going to be talking about your personal situation at a meal table or in the hallway or anywhere in the hotel.
On the internet, the Scientologists back in March of 1998 distributed software programs to Scientologists so that they could get out there and set up their own web page in the easy manner that Grady Ward has offered to do for anybody here who would like that to happen. However, one of the interesting facts about the Church of Scientology's special software that they gave to their members to set up these web pages was that it also installed onto their computer systems a censoring and filtering device that prohibited those members from the Church of Scientology to find any sites critical on the internet about Scientology. Now, this is all part of controlling information. Within their own organization, they censor what their members can actually see. It's like putting blinders on when you go onto this vast internet. Now, Scientology would like to tell everybody that, well, we just don't want all this in theta thrown on everybody, thrown on our members when they go out there on the internet. But my answer to that is this is purely an attempt by Scientology to continue to control the flow of information. They cannot control it in the real world, but within the world of Scientology, they do have that capacity by insisting that people use this special software to go out and roam the internet. And so I am very proud to have been censored at least 5 times in the Sinocitter software. And I am happy that no Scientologist can actually go out there and find information about me on the internet because a lot of it is not very colorful. Or it's too colorful.
I think it's actually a very colorful belief system. I think whenever a science fiction writer can come up with extragalactic aliens and inhabiting your body with body things that need to be audited off very expensively, I think that's a very colorful. It enriches our culture. It really does. It enriches our culture to have more mythology, and so I really support their position. No, I'm not being wry here. I mean, I really do think it is colorful. I mean, I don't think it's any more or less legitimate than other religions because I'm not a religious guy. But the illegality, the fraud, the concealing from the new members what is there, that's what I object to. That's all. If they were to somehow, and I don't think it's possible, but if somehow it could be changed so that they didn't, fraud was not part of their belief system, then I think the war of the internet would be over as far as Scientology is concerned.